Well, I think I would agree with what Jim said. I think at the end of the day, there are some terrific individuals who are ready, willing, and able to sit on boards. I think it is a demand issue. It's also a focus issue. Having done many searches across the Fortune 500 in the boardroom, I will tell you that the issue of broader diversity comes up in 90% of the searches that we do. It's a matter of keeping focused on that, because oftentimes what happens is somebody will come into the mix that happens not to be diverse. They happen to be a well-qualified candidate, and next thing you know, if it's not the number one priority, it slips to number 2 or 3, and next thing you know, they have not fulfilled what one of their initial goals was. So I do think, though, and a number of people have mentioned it so far, that what's happening in Norway, what's happening in the UK, has come across the pond. The search firms, the major search firms, have gotten together with our trade group to discuss a voluntary code on this topic. I'm not necessarily sure you'll see legislation, but I do think you will see a much more principled approach on this, and I do think the numbers will change. I think for years, and I've been doing this now for 20 or so years, this has been a topic, but I think it really has reached a crescendo over the last 18 months, where I do think we're going to see some significant movement in the right direction.
Let me ask, just to follow that up. If it's not a priority, if a woman candidate for the board, so you get a search request, it's not a priority, and you said if it's not a top priority, it tends to, then suddenly another candidate surfaces, everybody goes, wow, and it's out the window, it's off the list. Where do you see situations where it stays a priority?
Yeah, well, I think it really comes down to leadership, whether it's the CEO, whether it's the chairman of the board, whether it's the lead director, whether it's the head of the nominating governance committee. They've all got to be on the same page on this. And in each situation, it's different in terms of whose point, in terms of the recruiting process, if you will. But whomever out of those, most likely one of those 4 individuals, they need to stay focused on it and keep. And oftentimes, obviously, the head of the nominating governance committee, they've got to keep their group focused as well. And that's obviously where we come into play and make sure that, again, when we're going down these paths, that we come back and discuss where we started and have we fulfilled the mission again where we started.
Do you see the situation of that alignment between all those players getting better over time?
Well, I think, again, given transparency now, given all the issues that you mentioned in terms of where the marketplace is going, the marketplace is driving this in other ways as well. So again, I think that you are seeing more alignment on this, and certainly a much greater awareness than you have in the past.
Okay, interesting.